Solihullradio.com.
Pret-a-Manger says it's deeply sorry after a teenager died from eating one of its baguettes. The father of Natasha Ednan Laperouse, who had an allergic reaction, says the law was playing Russian roulette with his daughter's life. The 15-year-old had studied the packet, and Pret's been criticised for inadequate labelling, but it didn't need to warn about sesame seeds. Clive Schlee is from the company.
We've listened to everything the coroner and Natasha's family have said this week, and we will learn from it. All of us at Pret want meaningful change to come from this tragedy. We will ensure that it does.
Officers searching for a missing university student have recovered a body from the River Severn in Worcester. 18-year-old Thomas Jones from Bromsgrove disappeared over a week ago. Formal identification has not yet taken place. A woman has been jailed for 5.5 years after stealing money from a Grenfell Tower victim fund. The 39-year-old spent the £62,000 on dinners, expensive holidays and clothes. A tsunami in Indonesia has swept away houses and left families missing. It followed a 7.5 earthquake in central Sulawesi earlier. Head teachers from across England, Wales and Northern Ireland have marched in central London to demand extra cash for schools. They've handed in a letter to the Chancellor complaining that school budgets are too tight. Europe have completed a clean sweep in this afternoon's Ryder Cup foursomes with comfortable wins in all 4 matches. They now lead 5-3 at the end of day 1. Ian Poulter teamed up with Rory McIlroy to get victory over Bubba Watson and Webb Simpson. Poulter says Europe showed great mental strength.
The team have come out this afternoon. They've done what they do best, and that's be resilient, and it's awesome. And
Andy Murray's out of the Shenzhen Open. He lost in straight sets to Spain's Fernando Verdasco in their quarter-final in China. That's the latest. I'm Tanya Snuggs.
Good evening everyone, welcome to Reevesy 6 o'clock session here on Solihull Radio. And coming up we have our usual mix of music, chat, sport, quizzes and much more. Hope you have a good week and are ready for a great weekend doing whatever is your thing.
See wonderland in your eyes. Might need your company tonight. Something in you lit up heaven in me. The feeling won't let me sleep, 'cause I'm lost in the way you move, the way you feel. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities, I look like all you need. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities, I look like all you need.
Oh, that one caught me out a little bit there. I didn't expect it to end that quick, but there you go. Right, in tonight's show we have music from Jess Glynn, Top Loader, Coldplay, The Eagles, Robert Palmer, and many more of your favourite artists. We'll talk about your local fundraising efforts, and my guest in the studio is Tony Bradley, owner of L Security Solutions. We'll talk about crime prevention. We'll find out what's on over the weekend. The blast from the past this week is 1980. I'll have some fascinating facts for you, and much, much more. And you could also enter our quizzes and win a nice crispy £20 note. Now, if you want to take part in the show, enter the quizzes, have a request played, or have a chat with Tony, just give me a call on 0121 70 40 185 or text 075 64 30 30 64 or email studio@solihullradio.com. We'll have a little bit of Jess Glynn now.
It belongs to you. You don't believe me, but it's true. Show the freckles on my arms, spell out your name. Real feelings coming through. 'Cause all I know and all I am is you. Ooh, miss you.
There you go. That was Jess Glynn for you there with a new one. If I sound a bit croaky tonight, guys, I'm sorry, but I've got a little bit of a cold coming. By the way, also, as well as having Tony in the studio, I've also got Miss Debbie Donnelly.
Hello.
And all she's doing is taking the mic because I'm sniffling. But there you go.
I've never seen such a gentleman with a cold. Oh, look at him. He sounds like a hedgehog under a tree or something.
Thank you. Right, let's crack on with the show. Right, just one little bit of information for you guys. Sick children and their families were paid a royal visit when the Duke of Cambridge paid a visit to Acorns Children's Hospice last week. Prince William stopped off at the hospice, which provides special care for children, including those from Solihull, as part of his tour of the region last week. He met families using the hospice multi-sensory room and taking part in a hydrotherapy session with a physiotherapist before meeting children and families enjoying a stay and play session in the hospice lounge. The visit comes as Acorns celebrate 30 years since Diana, Princess of Wales, officially opened the hospice on Oak Tree Lane in 1988. At the time, only the third children's hospital in the world. The Duke was given a tour of the hospice by Acorns' young ambassadors, Asaya Shabir and Bradley Addison, and he reacquainted with fellow Aston Villa FC fan and Acorns ambassador Moyne Younis, following the pair's introduction at the Pride of Britain Awards last year. Following the tour of the hospice, the Duke met a group of Acorns patrons, staff, supporters before unveiling a plaque to commemorate the visit, I don't understand. A plaque to commemorate the visit, which has been placed next to his mother's from the official opening. I hope you understood that. Toby Porter, Acorns' chief executive, said, "It was a day none of us will ever forget at Acorns. It was quite magical for us to see the pleasure it gave the children and the families to meet the Duke at Birmingham Hospice, which was opened by his mother 30 years ago. What a fantastic 30th anniversary present for everyone at Acorns. We are proud and grateful to our two young Acorn ambassadors, Asaya and Bradley, for doing such a wonderful job leading the tour. We are confident the Duke will have left with a proper insight into the care delivered by our incredible staff and volunteers, and we hope he enjoyed his visit." Well, that's brilliant. Now, well done, Acorns, and congratulations on your 30 years anniversary. Excuse me. Now, before we go on, I've just got a request now, and this is for Lorraine and Paul Fitzwater from Solihull. It's their I think it's the 22nd wedding anniversary today, and it's also Lorraine's birthday tomorrow. So this one is for you guys. Hope you enjoy it.
Tonight it's very clear as we're both lying here. There's so many things I wanna say. I will always love you. I would never leave you alone. Sometimes I just forget, say things I might regret. It breaks my heart to see you crying. I don't wanna lose you. I could never make it alone. I am a man who will fight for your honor. I'll be the hero you're dreaming of. We'll live forever, knowing together that we did it all for the glory of love. You keep me standing tall. You help me through it all. I'm always strong when you're beside me. I've always needed you. I could never make it alone.
You're listening to Solihull Radio.
You certainly are. It's me, Reevesy. Now we're going to talk about crime now. The nights are drawing in. It's getting dark earlier, and many of us worry about becoming victims of crime. But by taking a few simple and often inexpensive precautions, you can minimise your risk of becoming a victim. My guest in the studio tonight is Tony Bradley, owner of L Security Solutions. Hiya, Tony. Thanks for coming in.
No problem, Joe.
Good. Now, Tony's going to talk to us about the precautions we can all take to stop us becoming a crime statistic. Tony's an ex-police officer, so he does know what he's talking about, guys. Now, if you want to take part in our crime prevention chat and talk to Tony, please call on 0121 7040 185 or text 075 64 30 30 64 or email studio@solihullradio.com. Okay then, Tony. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research on this and understand that homes with no security measures in place are 5 times more likely to be burgled than those with simple security measures.
Yeah, that's right, John. Unfortunately, burglars are quite good at what they do, and some are very professional. So they'll walk down the street and they'll see houses with alarms, with cameras, and they'll, if they can, avoid those and go to houses without. So, as you say, it's quite key to get some kind of protection there.
Yeah, and also understand that most burglaries, the criminals broke into the house or the flat through the front door, either forcing the locks or kicking it in.
Yeah, especially now there's quite a recent crime wave with what's called lock snapping. So with the Euro cylinder lock, it's quite easy, if it's not an anti-snap lock, to snap the lock, and within 9 or 10 seconds, the offender can be in there and in your house virtually silently. Yeah.
Now, a point in case there is our own Debbie. Now, Debs was burgled, guys, on last Wednesday night, I think it was.
No, Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday, sorry. Tell us about that then, Debs. I bet that was bloody frightening.
Well,
Sorry, guys, I shouldn't swear. I bet that was very frightening.
I was lying in bed. It was 3:45 in the morning, and there was an almighty bang. And I shot out of bed because I thought my cat had knocked something over, and stood on the landing for a minute, and I could hear somebody walking around in my hall downstairs. And I carried on listening, thinking I'd heard things, and the next thing I know is I've grabbed the golf club by my bed, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I did do it, and I bashed it on the floor, and then I shouted, "Get out my house," not so politely, I'd like to add, as that, and ran downstairs, and there was a man in my house.
So what happened next?
He grabbed my bag and my daughter's bag, and he walked out the door like he was going to work.
Really?
He didn't even run. He just casually... I didn't even see his face, all I saw was his back. But he casually... So meanwhile, I'm a woman on my own, rang the police and said, "There's a man in my house." I've got to say, to be fair, they were there within 5 minutes, so, my daughter's a police officer anyway, so, I did think there may be a delay, but there wasn't. They came out straight away. They were really good. They went looking for... everything, but what he'd done was, and this is a little bit of a warning, because he'd walked through my front door like it was his house. He'd ripped the letterbox off, put his arm in so far, and apparently they've got little gadgets they can turn the knobs with now. And he obviously, that didn't work on my door, so he actually got a screwdriver or a chisel or something. Got through the one door, but he wasn't planning for me having a second front door. So he's had to do 2 doors to get in. And I don't know whether the bang... I've got 2 wooden carvings in the hall. Don't know whether the bang was him falling over one of those. But he prepped himself because he went and unlocked the back door as well. But you can't get out my garden because I've got a really old house, so you can't get out my garden. So he'd obviously gone out the back door, thought, I'm not getting out here with whatever I take. But while he's doing all that, I've come downstairs with my super wings of steel and my golf club.
And that was it. And he did a runner.
Yeah, and all 5 foot of woman and hair coming at you. Any man would run.
Maybe you didn't need the golf club after all.
No, I mean,
Sorry, Debs.
I mean, I don't look the best at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it is. But,
don't ask me. I don't know.
What? No, he doesn't.
No,
Sorry, Jackie.
No.
I don't proper. So actually, maybe it was just the fact that the police officer actually who came around said 9 times out of 10 they don't expect a woman to fight back,
Yeah.
and I did.
And the other thing, they don't like confrontation is the other thing most of the time, which is why
They're
he would have
cowards.
opened the back door so he can get away quickly. So making a loud noise upstairs, banging, shouting, definitely the best thing to do.
Yeah, I know we're making light of it, really, Debs. You're having a bit of a laugh about it, but I'm glad you can laugh about it. To be fair,
Well,
it is, it is-
inside I am slightly. It was the day after. I had the day off after from work the next day to change my locks. Which I'd like to say, ladies, I did myself. Thank you very much. Anyway, it wasn't until the day after it hit me, actually, and I went into a bit of a shaky mess on the Tuesday night. No, the Tuesday night. Sorry, I've lost track of the weeks.
it's Friday today.
Yeah, pub. What's it? And then it wasn't until I went back to work on the Wednesday that it sort of really hit me. And I felt physically drained, to be fair. No energy. And it's just, I think what happens when you're a woman, you're on your own in a house, you don't want somebody in your house that you don't know. I mean, I didn't say, come in, please come in and burgle, whatever you need. It's the vulnerability you feel. If you've got a man in your life, which I haven't at the moment, but I am available for requests. And if you've got a man in your life that is there, you've got that. I know it's not a plus or whatever, but you've got somebody there. For a fact.
You feel a bit more secure.
Yeah.
So what sort of things would you advise then, Tony, in situations like that?
You mean if you wake up and there's somebody in there, John?
Yeah.
Exactly what Debs did, to be honest. Turn the lights on upstairs, bang, make loads of noise, make sure that they know that they've been heard or been seen. Most of the time, that's when they'll leave.
Yeah.
Obviously, most people now have a phone upstairs or a mobile phone. Ring the police, dial 999. Don't bother with 101 with something like that. 999. Make sure that you call them. The other thing, after you've called the police and they've said they're on the way, if you've got the number of somebody local, a neighbour or a friend who lives a few doors down, give them a ring as well, because at least they can come out and you'd know. I don't know what it was like for you, but at least if you come out and go outside.
The thing was, I never thought to do that.
Yeah, and you don't, because it's not something we should think about. Unfortunately, nowadays we have to.
Yeah, I think when something like that, it's an unexpected thing, isn't it? And it happens, and you think, oh, crikey.
It's the it's sort of adrenaline. I think I lived 2 days on adrenaline, and then obviously the adrenaline dropped, and that was when I was back at work, and it suddenly hit me like a bolt out that I'd been on but my mother instinct trucked in, because I got my daughter upstairs, and all I could think of was, and I said to the police officer, I would have hit him with it, because my daughter's upstairs, and that's the thing.
Well, I'll talk about that a little later. But I mean, what would you advise then, Tony, on the security side of things? Obviously, locks and so on.
The more you can do, John, the better. Is basically, and with the old barrel type Yale lock, Debsy's right. They can get their arm in a letterbox. A lot of these offenders, they're small, slight. They can get arms in places. They can open the lock from the inside. Now, if it's the type where you can still put a key in the back and lock it, do that. 5-lever mortise locks, great, but make sure that you take the key out. You don't want to be leaving the key there, so they can come in and take the key and open the door. But what you need to do for safety is make sure that everyone in the house knows where those keys are in case you need to get out in emergency.
And what about locks top and bottom? The barrel bolts and so on.
Yeah. Simple bolts, better than nothing. Chains, better than nothing. It's all going to make more noise, and you're going to be able to hear what's going on. 5-lever mortise, perfect. Euro cylinders, make sure they're anti-snap, and chains and bolts.
I mean, I know everyone can't afford the cameras, and I know you provide cameras as well with your business, Tony. But some of these cameras are fantastic now, aren't they? You can sit and watch things on your mobile phone when you're miles away.
Yeah, from anywhere in the world, but it's all about budget, John.
Yeah.
So they're not as expensive as you'd think. If people are good at DIY, they can buy their own cameras, install them. Companies like ours, there's various companies out there that fit cameras. And there's also the Ring doorbell, which is another good bit of kit, which is advertised and you can get from anywhere. and it notifies you every time somebody walks up to your front door, not just when they ring the bell.
Oh my gosh.
Which would probably be good for you, Debs,
I was gonna
because
say,
if you were sat here and somebody came up out basically casing the house to burgle later, when they walk up to the door, there's a small video of them.
Right.
Plus, it can notify your phone, so your phone will ping to say somebody's at your front door.
All right. Oh, right. Okay. Now,
Brilliant.
how much should I say that on the radio?
You can have that discussion off air. Look, we'll have a little bit of a break now. I'll put a little bit of Coldplay on for you guys, and then we'll come back and discuss the crime prevention a little bit more.
Turn your magic on. With me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. We are legends every day. That's what she told me. I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. I feel my heart beating. You make me feel like I'm alive again. Alive again. Oh, you make me feel like I'm alive again. Said I can't go on, not in this way. I'm a dreamer, die by light of day. Gonna hold up half the sky and say, only I own it. And I feel my heart beating. I feel my heart underneath my skin. Oh, I can feel my heart beating. 'Cause you make me feel like I'm alive again. Alive again. Oh, you make me feel like I'm alive again. Turn your magic on. And me, she'd say everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds taking shape. We are diamonds taking shape. If we've only got this life, this adventure, oh, that I. If we've only got this life, you get me through. If we've only got this life, and this adventure, oh, that I wanna share it with you, with you.
And there you go. That was a little bit of Coldplay for you there. Now I'll just bring the guys in again. Now I have had a text from Pete Stokes in Yardley, and he's saying every time he gets into conversations with many people regarding crime prevention, he's quite alarmed about the amount of carjacking and the violence against the victims these crimes are using. One example is a friend of his said that his daughter was met outside a supermarket recently by a masked hooded person who punched her to the ground, demanding her keys and stole the car, which they've never seen to this day. The full incident was recorded on CCTV, and the police told them due to the fact they could not identify the person, it were very unlikely that they would be able to make an arrest. And that's just one of the incidents of many that he knows of. Now he's saying can you ask Tony, is anything ongoing to try to prevent these types of crimes? Or have the police just adopted an attitude that this is a sign of the times?
Obviously, I can't speak for the police, John, but we all know about cutbacks. There's less police than I think there's been for decades now on the streets. Certainly when I was in the police, and the boys and girls on the streets are doing the best they can. I'm sure they are, but they just haven't got the people to put resources into different squads to go and try and catch these people before the crimes happen, which is what used to happen. It's really firefighting now, going from job to job, trying to catch up with crime that's happened. But everyone can do a little bit, especially if you're in a high value car. Just need to be a little bit more savvy. Even in the supermarkets, when you park up, sit there for 30 seconds before you unlock your doors, which should always be locked when you're driving around. Sit there for 30 seconds, have a look around, make sure you've not been followed or somebody's behind you. Just before you get out, and when you're back onto your drive overnight, try and back onto the drive or park outside your house. Just have a sit there and make sure there's nobody lurking in the drives beside you or in the bushes, or cars park up with the headlights on, just waiting for you to get out of the car. And if you think they are, either ring somebody inside the house if you know there's somebody in there, or drive around the block and see if they follow you.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, as you say, there's really not a lot you can do about that one, is there? It's just one of those things that, unless you got mace spray and all that kind of stuff. By the way, is that legal in this country, Tony? That mace spray? You can't use it.
No.
All right. Oh, there you go. Something else we've learnt tonight, then, Debs.
Well, there you go. I better go and send me supply there.
Yeah, but I mean, the car crime is now really, really big. I mean, I've actually got here a list. The residential population of Solihull is 206,551. Now, I've got the crime breakdown here from August 2017 to July 2018, and they talk about burglary. There's 966 cases of burglary, 197 of robbery, and we got bike theft. We haven't got car theft or anything there. Oh, sorry, we got vehicle crime. Vehicle crime, 914. Now we don't know what that's made up of. Is it car stolen? Is it car smashed up? Is it, we don't know what that is. But I mean, can I ask you a pertinent question, really, Tone? I mean, I'll take it you've been out of the police now. You said earlier on about 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, probably coming up to 3 years now.
So, have you noticed a sort of a difference with the response times and all that kind of stuff?
There definitely is, and I think it's just down purely to numbers. I know that a lot of police officers are struggling with the workload they've got, and I think it's the way that the police work now is totally different to when I was in there. And certainly at the higher levels, there's a lot of politics involved, where all we want to see is a police car driving around or Bobby's on the beat now and again to put people off. But I think those days are gone, in all fairness, which is why people need to start thinking a little bit differently, and trying to protect themselves rather than when we used to rely on the police to protect us all the time. That they're not there anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a little break, and then I've got a phone call from Dan Camp, who actually has experienced vehicle crime when his car was stolen. So we'll just have another little song, and then we'll take it from there.
Special time for me, as I remember what
And there you go. That was Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons there with Oh What a Night. Now then, we were talking about vehicle crime earlier on, Tony, and I mean, do you have any tips for that?
Yeah, there's quite a lot we can do with vehicles, John. Obviously, it's a bit of a trend now, especially with cars like BMWs and Audis, which, as Debs was saying, is stolen to order, stripped parts, or the whole car's going abroad. So there's various things apart from CCTV and covering the car when it's outside your house. Obviously, trackers can be fitted to these cars, and they're not as expensive as they used to be. You can buy your own tracker online, put a SIM card in there, and you can track it yourself.
Right.
Steering locks, good old-fashioned steering locks are still good, because eventually they can get broken, but it takes a bit longer to get the car away.
And that's a visual thing, isn't it?
Exactly, and they know that you've got security on there because it's on there.
I've got one of them.
Sorry, Debs.
I've got a steering.
Oh, you've got a steering lock, have you?
Yeah, a flashing one.
Good. Flashing one. Well, there you go. Well, listen, we've had a caller to the station tonight, and that's Dan Camp. Hello, Dan. You there?
Hi, John.
Oh, good. Thank you for ringing in. We appreciate that. Now, I understand you had your car stolen off your drive.
I did just over a month ago. And just listening to what Tony said there, it was a BMW, and the police said it was probably a stolen to order because there were 3 or 4 vehicles of a similar ilk on the same night.
Right, all gone on the same night?
Yes.
What, from the same road, was it, or?
From the same vicinity.
Same vicinity?
Within sort of square mile, I believe.
Right. Now, I understand that, I mean, when was this then, Dan?
Probably 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago. So
6 weeks ago.
Obviously, you've upped your security since then.
Yes, massively. Not through choice particularly, but obviously just to try and protect not only the vehicles that we've got, but it was the fact that the people came in over the roof of our side shed, snapped the barrel on the back door, came into the house and turned it upside down looking for keys whilst everyone was in bed. It was about 5 a.m. We've got young children asleep, and it's the ongoing effects that it's had on them.
Yeah. It was...
People have been in your property and been through your personal belongings as much as it is about the vehicle itself.
Yeah, that's exactly what Debbie said earlier on, because, I don't know if you heard, but she was saying about when she was burgled last week. So, Tony, I mean, you said their vehicle crime is now becoming more regular now. I mean, what things can you do to stop that, though?
Exactly what Dan said there. The big thing is, with a lot of these cars, they've got 2 ways of stealing them. They can use technology to scan the code in the key itself, and they don't need to come in the house, or they'll come into the house and get the keys. Now, there's certain things you can do there. Hopefully, Dan has now got anti-snap locks on the house. I'm sure he has.
You've done that, Dan?
I have, yeah. The first thing we did do is change all the barrels, the Euro cylinders, to anti-bump, anti-snap. They were quite clever because the barrels were flush with the handles. So they actually peeled the handle away from the door to get...
Broke the handle off to give them some room to play.
And then snap the barrel.
And that's the thing. That's a good point, John, because if they're really simple to install, you can look on YouTube and it gives you videos on how to change Euro cylinders. A cheap Euro cylinder, a basic one, is about £6-7. An anti-snap one is probably looking about £40 per barrel, but definitely worth it. It's designed so... The way they got into Dan's was to break the handle, get a pair of mole grips or pliers, and then snap the lock, and the whole lock snaps. With an anti-snap lock, the front of the lock snaps, but the rest of the barrel's intact inside.
Right.
So they can't basically get through that way.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh. Interesting stuff this tonight, folks. So you've obviously got another car now then, Dan?
Yes, insurance paid out, and I know, the people who do this, the perpetrators, will say, well, you're insured, you can get another car. But it's the stress it causes and the upset it causes, particularly when they have been in the house to get to it.
Yeah, well, that's the frightening...
No claims.
Yeah.
Sorry, John, no claims bonus. It does cost you money. It's not like the insurance company just pay up out of the goodwill of their heart. You lose your no claims, you've got to pay your excess, etc., etc.
Yeah. It's not just a case of repairing all the braking, is it? It's everything else that goes with it as well, especially when they pinch your car. It's something of a high value like that. You've obviously done the right thing now, Dan. You've got all your security in place. Have you got cameras as well now?
Yes, we've put an alarm system on the house since then. an interior alarm that rings directly to a call centre, and we've got external
Right.
cameras with a sensor on it. So like you would have on a light that comes on at night, a PIR sensor.
Yeah.
There's a PIR sensor on the alarm that picks up anyone in the garden area, and then it takes 4 still images and sends those images straight to the alarm centre so they can see why the alarm's gone off, and then they can obviously call the police and alert us as well. So if we're not at home, they'll let us know that something's happening at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, Dan, sorry for what happened, but thank you for coming on the show tonight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Right, there you go, folks. That's Dan, who's actually had it happen. I mean, we've got 2 people. We've got Debbie, who's been broken into, and we've got Dan, who's had his car pinched, and a house broken into, and and the car pinched. So, if you want to ring in or text me or even email me, the number is 0121 70 40 185. If you want to text us, it's 075 64 30 30 64. And if you want to email the studio, it's studio@solihullradio.com. Now we got a little bit of Chuck Berry.
Teenage wedding and the old folks wished him well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They furnished off an apartment with a 2-room robot sale. The coolerator was crammed with TV dinners and ginger ale. But when Pierre found work, the little money coming worked out well. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They had a hi-fi phone, oh boy, did they let it blast. 700 little records, all rock, rhythm, and jazz. But when the sun went down, the rapid tempo of the music fell. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They bought a souped up chitney, was a cherry red 53, and drove it down to Orleans to celebrate their anniversary. It was there where Pierre was wedded to the lovely mademoiselle. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell. They had a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks, it goes to show you never can tell.
And there you go, a little bit of Chuck Berry there for you guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. It makes a change for me to play rock and roll, to be fair, but there you go.
Good music tonight, Reevesy. What's the matter with you?
Right, as you can tell, Debbie's still here with me, and so is Tony.
You haven't dropped off.
However, it's now quiz time. So
Quiz time!
quiz time, and I haven't got me
Oh, he hasn't got his...
Disco Laser, I think it's called. Anyway, it's quiz time, so don't forget, guys, anyone who either calls, texts or emails the show with the correct answer to any of the questions will be entered into a prize draw to win a nice crisp £20 note.
He's loaded, you know. That's what everyone's had a grand now.
If you know the answer, give me a call on 0121 70 40 185 or text 075 64 30 30 64. I won't say email the studio because I don't think it's working, but there you go. Now, here is tonight's first of tonight's quiz questions. Suddenly I See, the next song we're going to play, Suddenly I See won the Ivor Novello Award for the best song in 2006. But who sang the song? Suddenly I See won the Ivor Novello Award for the best song in 2006. But who sang the song?
Her face is a map of the world, is a map of the world. You can see she's a beautiful girl, she's a beautiful girl. And everything around her is a silver pool of light. People who surround her feel the benefit of it, it makes you count. She holds you captivated in her palm. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. And I feel like walking the world, like walking the world. And you can hear she's a beautiful girl, she's a beautiful girl. She fills up every corner like she's born in black and white. Makes you feel warmer when you're trying to remember what you heard. She likes to leave you hanging on a word. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. And she's taller than most, and she's looking at me. I can see her eyes looking from the page of a magazine. She makes me feel like I could be a tower, big strong tower, yeah. The power to be, the power to give, the power to see, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, she got the power to be, the power to give, the power to see, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, she got the power to be, the power to give, the power to see, yeah, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, she got the power to be, the power to give, the power to see, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, she got the power to be, the power to give, the power to see, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. Suddenly I see, this is what I wanna be. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me. Yeah, yeah. Suddenly I see, why the hell it means so much to me.
We're on here. We're on here. And that was oh, I can't tell you who that was. I nearly told you who it was then. I nearly told you who it was then. I'm not telling you who that was, guys. That's the competition, isn't it? Right. Just a reminder that we have Tony Bradley from L Security Solutions in the studio talking about crime prevention.
Bradley, not Hadley.
Yeah, it's no.
From Spandau Ballet.
If you want to ask Tony a question or get involved with our conversation tonight, give us a call on 0121 70 40 185 or text 075 64 30 30 64. Now then, Tony, the nights are drawing in, as I said earlier on, and obviously it's getting a lot darker. Have you got any advice for people now?
Yeah, obviously, under cover of darkness, that's when a lot of these undesirables like to work, John. So there's various things that we can all do. One obvious one is when you're in of a night, close the curtains if you've got curtains or blinds, because the amount of roads you walk down or drive down now and you see a great big whopping TV on the wall and a burglar knows straight away it's worth going in there. If they've got a big TV, they're going to have other things, iPads and whatever, so just it's a lot easier to see overnight into a house if the lights are on and they can see what's there. So keep the blinds closed, the curtains closed. The other thing that people don't think about is clearing up especially the back garden, because you don't want to be leaving tools or loose bricks or slabs lying around. Because for a burglar, he can walk around all night, and even if he gets stopped by the police, there's no offence in walking around. What we need to do, if he's going to walk around burgling, he needs to take his own tools with him. We don't want to supply tools for him. There's a burglar not far from me this week, and they used a hammer, which was left in the back garden to break the window.
So, do you do that, Debs? You close your windows? Close your curtains?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's something really you don't sort of think about that, isn't it?
I don't know, because I was saying to Tony earlier, because obviously I lost Sean 3 years ago, and I was talking to my friend Liz. She lost her husband about July time, and we were talking on the phone the other night about what's happened to me and whatever. And I think as a woman, it's something that you do think about because you're on your own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It is something that you think about because it's to be honest, it's been one of my biggest fears since losing Sean, that my house would get broken into. What would I do? And I didn't react the way I thought, because normally when I'm scared, I freeze.
Yeah.
And I do that classic woman thing of standing there for the first time ever and not having anything to say. You know, I do that. Sort of thing. But I didn't react the way I thought I would. And to be honest, I was so angry that the fact that somebody had the nerve to come into my house, that was because that was the reaction. And it was sheer terror that I wasn't, you know, I didn't do it on a whim. I'm not like a nutter or a ninja or anything. But it's just the fact that they're in your house.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know, that's the thing.
Yeah. What about garden sheds and garages and outhouses then, Tom? What would you do in
Same
those?
thing, John. Light them up as much as you can. Security lights with PIR sensors, so when somebody is there, it gets lit up, because a lot of the time the offender won't know whether the light's been turned on because somebody's seen them or because it's on a sensor. Sheds, one padlock on a shed isn't enough. If you've got your traditional tongue and groove type shed in the garden, put 2 or 3 padlocks on there. I know it's going to take a bit longer to open it up, but they're going to have to make more noise to get in there rather than just breaking one. And make sure they're decent locks as well. The small padlocks you generally get free with things are no good. They can just snap off. So make sure the bigger padlocks. The problem with sheds is it's normally an outhouse, it's far away from the house, or it's further away from the house. So it's difficult to connect to an alarm system which is in the house. But you can get alarm systems which are small units, fairly cheap, probably about £20, which is a loud siren. So when the door's opened, it will go off. And it's on a remote, so when you go near yourself, you can turn it off. And obviously if somebody else does, they won't be able to turn it off.
There you go then, guys. That's another good little bit of advice for you. We'll be back in a short while.
Solihullradio.com.
Now, this is another request, and this is actually for Lorraine, and it's from Paul.
Only fools rushing, and I hate falling in love with you. As a river flows gently to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things were meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. I can't be falling in love with you. As a river flows gently to the sea, darling, so we go. Some days were meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. I can't be falling in love with you. I can't be falling in love with you. Falling in love falling in love.
There you go. That was Full of Rain from Paul. I'll say no more. Now then, oh, hold on, what's happening there? It's all right. Something went wrong then. Something went wrong. Right, blast from the past. Tonight we have our blast from the past. Each week I look back at bands, songs, and events that happened in a particular year in the past. This week we look back at
1980.
1980. Right. In March, Radio Caroline, the pirate radio station, was forced to cease transmission when the ship on which it is based ran aground and sank off the Thames estuary. In April, Alton Towers Resort was opened by Madame Tussauds in Staffordshire. In May, the SAS stormed the Iranian embassy building in London, killing 5 out of the 6 terrorists and freeing all the hostages. And also in May, Nottingham Forest retained the European Cup with a 1-0 win over SV Hamburg, the West German League champions in Madrid. And on the 8th of December, we had the sad news that John Lennon had been shot dead in New York. Now, Don't Stand Too Close to Me by the Police was a best-selling song of 1980. It was the lead single from their third album, Zenyatta Mondatta, which was the second best-selling album in 1980, and the single spent 4 weeks at number 1. And I'm going to play it for you now.
Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's longing. This girl's an open page, bookmarking. She's so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. Her friends are so jealous. You know how bad
There you go. That was the police. That's quite prevalent, really, seeing we're having a crime prevention show, isn't it?
You never thought of that, did you, at the time?
Yeah. I've only just clicked. I didn't realise that, actually, but there you go. Right, so before the song, we were talking about 1980. And now in 1980, the average salary was £4,524.
That's what mine is now.
A house would have cost £20,984. Petrol cost 28 pence a litre. A pint of beer was 35p. A loaf of bread 33p. And a pint of milk cost 17 pence. The highest grossing film in 1980 was the second instalment of the Star Wars trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back. Oh. And the Ford Escort was the best selling car in 1980.
Oh, you see a lot of them got pinched.
Yeah. And UB40 released their first album, Signing Off, which reached number 2 in the UK album charts. And Food for Thought was the first single released off that album. And that reached number 4 in the UK single charts. And I am going to play that, even though I have played a UB40 song earlier. So here we go.
Don't panic, folks. He's still there. He's just keep going, Reevesy. You're doing really well tonight. Keep going. There he is. He's got his plug in the wrong thing. Sorry, folks. We're with it. He's not panicking at all. There's no sweat at all. Neither.
There you go. That was UB40 there. With food for thought, and it'll be food for thought tomorrow, I think, Debs, because we've got to go to the the Solihull Food and Drink Festival. Aren't we lucky?
Yeah, we'll bring our bicycle.
Yeah, we will.
Or a bit of milk and magnesia.
Well, we've got. Yeah, I think we might need it. Well, we'll be there at Solihull Radio in our new tent or mini marquee, as we're calling it.
Yes, look out for us in our royal blue.
Yeah, no, it's white. Our tent.
No, I'm talking about the
uniform.
T-shirt, you fool.
If
it was blue, it'd look like the TARDIS.
Yeah. We'll have some fun anyway. Anyway, the Solihull Food and Drink Festival is on tomorrow, guys. It started today, it's on tomorrow, it's on Sunday. And you've got the top TV chef, Jean-Christophe Novelli.
Let's do this together.
Jean-Christophe Novelli.
And he's very, very nice.
You've also got the Great British Bake Off's Selassie.
That's all you need to say.
I'll just say Selassie. And then you've also
he didn't have a soggy bottom, let's just say.
And you've also got then Eat Well for Less TV show, Chris Bavin.
Yeah, he's quite nice and all. I'm
there
going
you
to have
go.
my element tomorrow, right?
So it's going to be fun. There's lots of things going on. They're giving free samples of food and drink away and all sorts. So it will be good fun. It will be good fun. Now, we've still got Tony in the studio with us at the moment.
Yeah, he ain't run off.
He's still there. He hasn't fell asleep yet. So Tony, by the way, L Security Solutions. Now, car crime seems to be something that's happening a lot, and I don't mean like pinching the cars. I mean,
carjacking.
Well,
like that,
yeah. So, what's your advice on that then?
Firstly, a lot of cars now, John, when you start driving, automatically the doors lock. If they don't, lock the doors, no matter where you are, not just if you're in a more of a bad area. I'd say do it all the time. Lock the doors. Don't leave laptop bags, handbags on the passenger seat next to you, where a scooter can ride up, smash it, another scooter comes up behind and it's gone. So, or a pillion passenger on the scooter. So make sure there's nothing on view. Tuck your bags underneath the seat or behind you underneath the seat. And when you park up and you leave your car overnight, try and keep, it sounds stupid, but try and keep your car as clean and tidy inside as possible. Because if it's a messy car, they may think that there could be worth searching in there because you might have dropped a fiver or there could be a bag or an iPod or something in the mess. So if your car's clean, they can have a quick look in there, see there's nothing worth stealing and take it away.
Right, okay. Do you do that, Debs?
I put my bag in the boot and have my phone in the door.
No, right.
Now you look totally confused by that
No,
moment.
I'm just wondering where you put your golf club.
Oh, well, it's just part of, it's like, like in the Georgian times when they had a sword. I just walked round with it.
They had a sword.
Yes, a sword. Right. I just walked round with it. Me golf. Well, to be honest, I've got them dotted round the house. Now, I'm not any sort of vigilante like Dirty Harry or anything, but it's just the fact, as I say, I'm not condoning that you go around smashing people's heads in with a golf club.
No.
But it's a bit of added something.
Okay, well, look, we'll come back to this in a minute. Time's going on, and I've only got to quiz question number 2. So here's quiz question number 2.
He gave you the answer to quiz question number 1. He got carried away with himself. Right, we're on quiz question number 2. He's now... Yeah, he needs to go to space. It's quiz time!
I got my laser back.
Oh my gosh, you deafened me then.
I nearly deafened myself and all. Right. Right, quiz question 2. Again, if you know the answer, give us a call on 0121 70 40 185 or text on 075 64 30 30 64 and you could win a nice crisp £20 note.
Ironed at 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, right. The quiz question is, this is not a music one, this isn't. So who sang at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000 after entering the stadium on an outsized flip-flop? Who sang at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000 after entering the stadium on an outsized flip-flop?
Some idiot.
Yeah. Now, I've now had another request, and actually this is from me to some friends of mine, Lucy and Jono, whose wedding I attended, I think it was about 3 weeks to a month ago. I can't remember because they've been away in Thailand for God knows how long, and I can't really remember. But guys, this is for you.
Do I like it? It's alright.
Sorry guys, there you go. And that was a bit of a Depeche Mode there. That was for Jono and Lucy. So there you go, guys. Right, what's on in Solihull? If you fancy a movie, check out Cineworld in Touchwood Centre, which has a full programme over the weekend and into next week, including A Simple Flavour, King of Thieves, Night School, Christopher Robin.
Have you not seen
You're talking. I haven't switched you on yet.
No, turn me on.
I'll
please.
turn you on now.
Thank you very much.
Right.
King of Thieves, I highly recommend it. Absolutely brilliant film.
Right.
Michael
There's also
Caine is
Mamma
so
Mia
cool.
and Crazy Rich Asians. And Cineworld is also offering cut price deals for kids in their movie for juniors, Scheme, which feature Coco and Lewis and the Aliens. For further information, check out the Cineworld website. At the Core Theatre on next Wednesday, the Matt Monro story. Now, this is performed by Matt Monro Jr. Apparently, you shut your eyes and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference with their voices.
Born Free. Is that him?
That's him.
Yeah, right.
And it's celebrating the life and music of the legendary Matt Monro. The Matt Monro story is an inspired and unforgettable show, a unique evening of music, warmth and love, and keeping the memory of his music alive. From Born Free to Walk Away to Portrait of My Love, be prepared to be transported in time by this tribute to one of Britain's most popular and endearing singers, named the Singer by his peers. The show is enhanced by an audio, visual and narration, and it's on Wednesday night at 7:30. It runs for approximately 2 hours. Tickets are £22.50 each, and to book, contact the box office at the Core on 0121 704 6962 or go to the Core website. Now, also at the Core, on Friday the 5th of October...
Core. Sorry, I wanted to do that.
Claire Martin, OBE and Ray Gelato take to the road with their brand new show, Let There Be Love. Join musical partners and dear friends Claire Martin, OBE and the UK's godfather of swing, Ray Gelato, on this irresistible romp through the romantic classics of the great American songbook.
Romp? Did you say love
I
and
said
romp
romp.
in the same sentence, you naughty boy?
Shut up, I'm trying to read this. The great American songbook and find the perfect antidote to the woes of modern living. That's great, isn't it?
The woes of modern living.
Claire and Ray are joined on stage by a stellar group of musicians representing the cream of British jazz talent in this heartwarming concert, which is guaranteed to pull on your heartstrings and is a perfect night out for romantics everywhere. That's Friday the 5th of October at 7:30. Tickets are £20 each. To book, contact the box office on 0121 704 6962. Now, I'll come back to the Core Theatre and what's on in a short while. Now, what I've got now is a little song, because we've got Tony's daughter in here, Jess. So we got a little song for you, Jess. This is just for you.
Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. The sun ain't changed in the atmosphere, architecture unfamiliar. I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. We're south of the equator, navigator. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Deep sea diving round the clock, bikini bottoms, lager tops. I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. We got two in the front, two in the back, sailing along and we don't look back. Flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone, a someone, a someone, a someone.
And we just carry on now with our What's On. Now, also at the Core Theatre, next Wednesday, the 10th of October, we have Don McLean and Malcolm Stent in their two of a kind but different show. Malcolm and Don have a lot in common. Both are Birmingham born, both are comedians, actors and authors, and they've had their own radio and TV shows. Having starred in theatre and pantomimes, they've been entertaining and making audience laugh for many years. They're good friends, and both have stayed and been brought up their families in Birmingham. But they are different. They have different comedy styles. Don machine guns his audiences, the gags, and keeps moving. And Malcolm has the ability to stand still, speaking to his audience slowly and explaining as he goes along. Don likes to dress in a suit and a bow tie, and Malcolm prefers a rugby shirt and chinos. The evening will be an opportunity to see them in a way you've not seen them before, as they share the stage in a show in which they will meander through their lives, with tales about themselves, their TV and radio shows, theatre and pantomimes, and lots more. You'll hear stories and reminiscences, jokes and a few songs in a relaxed night of happiness and fun. That's Wednesday the 10th of October at 7:30. Tickets are £18. To book, contact the box office on 0121 704 6962. And of course, I've already mentioned the Solihull Food Festival's on over the weekend, so come along and see us there, Solihull Radio, at the Food Festival.
Solihullradio.com.
It is. It's quiz time again, guys. Just waking you up again there. Right, guys. If you know the answer to this question, give me a call on 0121 7040 185 or text 075 64 30 30 64. Now the quiz question is: how old is Peabo Bryson and Regina Bell sing this song, but which Disney movie is it from?
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways and under, on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But now from way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Unbelievable sights, wondrous place for you and
There, wasn't that nice, Deb?
No.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. That, you know when a song... Oh, no, I shouldn't say. I was going to say when a song gets on your nerves. That's one of them songs. I think it's because I associate it with... what's her name? Page 3. Oh, Katie Price. See, everybody knew when I said
She
that.
didn't sing that.
She did with Peter Andre when they got married.
Well,
See, that
was
blew
Peebo
it.
Bryson, that was, and
Well.
Regina Bell, and that was a much better version. Anyway, now we still got Tony Bradley here with us, owner of
Not Tony Hadley, can I just
No,
say?
it's Tony Bradley, owner of L Security Solutions, and he's been talking to us all night about crime prevention. Now, Debbie is... You said earlier
gorgeous.
on
Yes.
about in your breaking. Your breaking, you had you used your golf club.
My weapon of choice.
Yeah, which was your golf club.
Was a 9-iron.
Now, there's some new research from Churchill Home Insurance which reveal members of the public don't know their rights when it comes to protecting their homes. Less than half of Brits understand there's a legal definition of reasonable force, which means millions of people don't know how assertive they can be when protecting themselves or other occupants if they encounter an intruder in their home. And more than 1 in 8 say they didn't think there are any laws addressing their right to protect themselves or their family against the intruder. What's your sort of advice on this one, Tony?
Basically, the law is, John, that you can use as much force that's reasonable in the circumstances. So if you are confronted in your house with somebody and you end up hitting them, defending yourself because you're in fear, that's perfectly fine. What you can't do is grab them after they've run out the house and pull them back in and then give them a good hiding because the threat's gone. Once the threat's gone, once you've stopped them doing what they're trying to do, you need to stop. And that's the same whether it's on the street or in your house or anywhere. You can use as much force as reasonable to stop somebody hurting you or hurting somebody else.
Yeah, and there was that case, wasn't there, a few years ago? Was it Tony Martin, the farmer?
Yeah, with the
that's
shotgun.
what I was going to say. Yeah, what about that?
And
well, the problem with him was that if I remember it rightly, the burglar was leaving.
Oh, right, okay.
And Tony Martin shot him in the back.
Oh.
And as the burglar was leaving the property.
I better put the sawn off away then.
Yeah, so you can't really do that. You're not allowed to do that. But again, though, reasonable force to me may be something completely different to you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's subjective.
Yeah,
which is where you draw which is why we still
Well,
tried by a jury of 12. So hopefully you come to the right decision.
Because I did say to the police officer that come round, well, all 4 of them that stood in my house, I did say to them that I would have hit him with it. If it hadn't walked out.
But that's to protect yourself and your daughter.
Yeah, I would have, yeah. And, then afterwards, I probably would have worried afterwards. But it made me angry.
But I think, again, it's what we said earlier on. When you're in that situation and you're thinking, oh, crikey, what's he going to do or what's she going to do?
See, I didn't even think, but you don't know.
No.
When you're in that situation, you don't think of what you don't. That thought never crossed
and
my
mind. And the truth is, nobody knows how they're going to react until it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know. Personally, if somebody had said to me before all this happened, would you do? I probably said no. I'd probably freeze with fear, which was what I thought I'd do, but I didn't. I didn't freeze with fear, and I shocked. To be honest, I partly shocked myself that I reacted.
But I think again, you see, adrenaline kicks in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Adrenaline kicks into you, and So yeah. Well, they say here actually the level of force used must always be reasonable in the circumstances the householder believes them to be. So really, that's a little bit ambiguous, really, isn't it?
Bit grey.
I think you have to go back and look at the law, John. To be honest, which really is common sense. If you've caused somebody damage and they leave your house and there's no threat, you can't go and damage them some more.
Yeah. I mean, it also goes on to say this. 5% of Brits mistakenly believe they're legally allowed to set traps in their home to harm potential intruders. Booby traps are made famous in the movie Home Alone. If a householder's trap was to harm a burglar or intruder, they could be prosecuted for acting with very excessive and gratuitous force.
I think you've got a very boring life if that's what you plan.
Listen, if I have a subject on my show, I like to research it. Do you know what I mean, Debs? So there you go. That's where I get a lot of the information from. So there you go.
Home Alone.
Home Alone. No. Right. We'll have another quick song. I'll plug it in this time so we can hear it properly.
He's just plugging himself in now.
And this is one of my favourite groups, the Eagles.
Oh God, here we go again.
Pardon?
Which one is it? If it's what?
One of these nights
Solihullradio.com.
There you go, you're listening to Solihull Radio there. Now, whilst we're talking about security, there's something I actually saw in the paper the other day, and it's about pubs stop taking cash payments. And apparently it's the first in the UK. The Boot, a traditional pub in Freston near Ipswich, has stopped taking cash payments and is the first in the UK to do so. Its landlord, Mike Keane, has claimed the pub no longer has tills and customers have to either pay by card or through their phone. Mr. Keane said there were many benefits, most notably lower insurance premium, as cash is no longer kept on the premises. Cash has always been a pain. You've got problems with theft, he said. The banks charge a fortune for you to pay cash in. They take a cut of everything you pay in. You have to organise change, go into the town, park, queue up, which is another security risk, or pay a firm like Security Corps to pick it up. The bottom line is so hard we have to take advantage where we can. He said car payments cost him up to 1.5% per transaction. And the system of card machines is backed up with dongles in case there are problems with the internet connection. But Mr. Keane said they'd not had any problems yet. Now, I think that's a tremendous idea, Tone. What about you?
Yeah, obviously, especially for pubs, John, if there's no cash on there, it's less attractive for somebody to come steal it. However, from a personal point of view, how many people still like to go into a pub and they've got cash, they haven't got cards, some people haven't got bank accounts. Especially the older drinkers like to go in and they've got I'm not looking at you for any particular reason.
He's looking at me when he says that.
But it's true, a lot of people still only use cash.
Yeah.
I've got customers who insist on paying cash.
Yeah.
When for me, as that guy said, bank transfers are a lot easier because I get charged to put cash into the bank from the business. So
yeah.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword, really.
I suppose it is. But you mentioned, Debs, that schools do that now, don't they?
Yeah, most schools don't have cash.
Right, so they pay everything in.
Yeah, you pay it on PayPal or Parent Pay. Parent Pay normally.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is about not having cash in a pub. What if you only want a bag of nuts?
Well, he doesn't say.
You're going to get your credit card out for the bag of nuts, aren't you?
It doesn't actually say if there's a limit. You know, if you've got to spend £5 or something.
Yeah, I was going to say in most shops, if you
I don't think there is now with the contactless.
Oh right, okay.
Expensive round. If somebody knows you're paying on your card, they're all suddenly going to want a pint. You want it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Right now then, I'd like to thank Tony and Debs as well for being on my show tonight. I think we've given you some, or Tony's given us some useful information there, guys. And be very careful because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's around the corner. Get your bolts, get your locks, draw your curtains.
That was good. We don't know what's round the corner. That was
you
a
don't
good
do that. Get your locks, get your bolts, draw your curtains. Put your golf clubs behind the door. Do what you got to do. Just stay safe. Anyway, on a brighter note, quiz question answers.
It's quiz time.
Well, no, it's not quiz time. It's answer time. Now. Right. Quiz question number 1. I asked Suddenly I See won the Ivor Novello Award for Best Song in 2006, and who sang it? And that was Katie Tunstall. Quiz question 2. Who sang at the Sydney Olympic Games in 2000 after entering the stadium on an outsized flip-flop? That was Kylie Minogue.
Oh, Kylie.
And Peebo Bryson and Regina Bell sang this song. It was A Whole New World. And I asked which Disney movie is it from, and it was Aladdin. And there's only one person that got the 3 right, and that was Sarah from Solihull. Oh! So I'll be in contact with you, Sarah, to give you the money. Right, we've got 10 minutes to go, so we can play another tune.
Oh, here we go. I wonder what he's going to play this time. What you got on? What is it? Hello. Oh, there you go. You got back in the swing now. You're all right. Oh, no. He's all right. He's all right. He's just got his internet connection. There we go. Oh, bless him.
I keep forgetting my connection.
We get it almost every night when that moon is big and bright. It's a supernatural delight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Everybody here is out of sight. They don't buy
And that was Top Loader there, Dancing in the Moonlight, which I think we'll probably be doing a bit later tonight. How about that, Debs? You going to dance later tonight?
Well, it depends how much you pay.
Well, I'm going to... Yeah, we have got the Honey Club just downstairs.
It's been my days in the Honey Club and are long gone.
Listen, talking about romance, calling all engaged couples in the region. Shh, listen. Calling all engaged couples in the region. Say I do at Touchwood's wedding fair, mate. Your dream day a reality.
Say I don't.
Whether you know exactly what you want or need a little inspiration, Touchwood's here to show you in cake, confetti and champagne. Come on, I'm waiting for a comment from you.
Some kinky people.
Cake, confetti and champagne. From the 5th to the 7th of October, guests will be able to visit the centre to try, buy, book and hire everything they need to tie the knot in style.
Man?
You can't borrow a man, no.
Can't I just go and pretend?
From fashion retailers, caterers and entertainment, wedding specialists will be at every turn to answer questions and offer inspiration. In addition to the abundance of exhibitors, brides-to-be will be able to compete in a spectacular bouquet toss competition.
Oh, I say.
With the top 10 brides who throw their flowers the furthest, winning a range of extra special prizes. These include gift vouchers worth £1,000 to go towards a wedding dress from Platinum Brides, a bridal shower package from Crown Plaza Solihull, and a bespoke wedding cake worth £500 from Sugar Bliss Cake Company. Plus more. Details on how to enter will be announced on Touchwood's Facebook page very soon. Lucy Burnett, marketing manager at Touchwood, said, "We are delighted to host an array of dedicated wedding experts in the centre. Guests will find everything they need in one place to plan a picture-perfect day before taking a well-deserved break to participate in or watch what is sure to be an entertaining bouquet toss." Touchwood houses some of the best UK and international brands, designer retailers and independent bouquet store. Sorry folks, Debbie's on one. For further information, visit www.touchwoodsolihull.co.uk or telephone 0121 709 6900. Follow Touchwood tweets or log on to www.facebook.co.uk Touchwood Solihull. For further information, visit www.touchwoodsolihull or telephone 0121 709 6900. Now we'll have a little bit of Robert Palmer. Well, I fade that one out because unfortunately we've come to the end of my show. And I got to say, I have really enjoyed tonight's one. It's been quite good. It's been informative. It's been funny. Well, it always is when Debs is here, isn't it? Sorry. You've been listening to Reevesy 6 o'clock session here on Solihull Radio. I hope you've enjoyed it. My thanks go to Tony. Tony, I think you've earned a little advert for yourself tonight, mate. So.
Oh, thanks, John.
So, if people want to contact you, then are you prepared to give a number? And
yeah, we do all kinds of security. If anyone's got any questions, if they want us to come round and give them a survey or a free quote, let them know whether they could sure things up. They can contact us on Facebook, and if they search for Our Security Solutions, we're local in Solihull, they'll find us, or email info@owlsecuritysolutions.com.
So there you go then, guys. You know where it is.
Owl as in the bird.
Owl.
O-W-L.
O-W-L. I thought you were saying L.
Twit-to-woo.
Twit-to-woo, yeah. So there you go. Debs, thanks for you again for your usual great input into my show.
I do apologise.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Folks, have a great weekend. Have a really good week ahead. And please, please stay safe. And I'll leave you with this thought. Age may wrinkle the face, but lack of enthusiasm wrinkles the souls. See you next week. Ta-da.